went to HudsonWay through 5th grade. I was on the Chinese immersion track, a Spanish after-school track. After HudsonWay, I moved on to Hungary. Just learning Chinese itself it not only is a good skill in and of itself, but it develops good habits. It certainly helped me find a language that I was interested in high school, as a lot of my fellow classmates were struggling to find languages that they were interested in, that they were any good at. But with Chinese, I hit the sweet spot right there. I was already very familiar with it, and in high school I was able to start at the highest level classes very early. This fall I'll be attending the University of Pennsylvania.
I'm in 7th grade at Kent Place School, and I was at HudsonWay in the Spanish track from when I was 2.5 years old until the end of 5th grade. I think that HudsonWay has definitely helped develop my confidence and independence going into Kent Place, and I also feel like learning the Spanish language has helped me broaden my knowledge with different cultures. Well, when I left HudsonWay, I definitely understood the language and was able to speak it very well. It was basically my first language, along with English. So they've been very accommodating to help me be able to practice the language in a 10th grade Spanish class with people a lot older than me.
Next year I will be a sophomore at Morristown Baird. I took Spanish at HudsonWay Immersion School. I started around 10 years ago when I was 4 and stayed at HudsonWay learning Spanish until I graduated in 5th grade. So my experience at HudsonWay was amazing. We learned, I think it was 75% Spanish and 25 English, which gave me enough experience to be a fluent Spanish speaker, which I further developed, pursuing it throughout middle school and high school at Morristown Baird. Well, I think experience I've already had with it is my dad is a contractor. He hires a lot of Latin American workers, and I'm able to speak to all of them in Spanish, and that could help me in future jobs by being able to speak to more people than the person who would only speak English would be able to, and also it would look very good, not only for colleges, but for jobs in the future, and traveling the world, meeting new people.
And I went to HudsonWay from kindergarten to 5th grade in the Spanish program, and now I'm a sophomore at Newark Academy, and one of my biggest hobbies is robotics, and last year I actually qualified for Worlds. So I take French right now, and learning Spanish as a kid and learning the language has really helped me out when I'm learning French, because once you learn a language once, doing it again is much easier. Because I'm definitely still better at speaking Spanish than French, even though I've been taking it for 5 years in high school and middle school. I'm still better at speaking Spanish because I only learned in elementary school, because the HudsonWay immersion works so well. I still talk in Spanish to some Spanish teachers at my school. Sometimes they come up and say hi to me, and we'll have a conversation. So I still use Spanish, and then also occasionally we'll travel to some Spanish-speaking country for a little bit, and then I always use my Spanish there.
I went to HudsonWay Immersion School from pre-K through 5th grade. Now I am an 8th grader at Newark Academy. So reason why I took French is because when I took the placement test for Spanish to see what level I was at, I would be with the 11th graders. So I was so advanced, I decided to pick up another language. When I went to Worlds before the pandemic, for the first year, there were robotics teams from all over the world, right? And I think we were paired with a couple of Spanish teams for some of the competitions. I won't go into details there, but it was very helpful to be able to talk to them in Spanish, and really, we were a pretty well-performing team, and you have to coordinate and share when you have 2 different robots, and you have to have the 2 drivers communicating. So that was really helpful.
12 years old, and I went to the Mandarin Immersion program in HudsonWay, and I'm currently in 6th grade. I started HudsonWay at around 5 years old, and I had an amazing teacher. Her name was Miss Echo, and she cared for me very much, and I remember she would slowly by slowly teach me like all the stuff that I currently know now. I had two other teachers, Miss Chen and Mr. Zhang, and they were very patient and they were really good teachers. They found creative ways to teach, and I think like they were the best teachers I've ever had. I can like speak fluent Chinese now, and it's really helped me a lot. I can speak to like my grandparents, like my relatives, like that sort of stuff. And sometimes like my parents like will ask me for help if they can't read like the Chinese. So it's really benefited me in a lot of ways.
I'm in 11th grade. I'm a junior at Livingston High School. I started attending HudsonWay Immersion School at 3 years old, and I graduated at 5th grade. And I was on the Chinese track, and I'm continuing Chinese now. A few summers ago, I traveled to Taiwan and I studied abroad, and I had to stay with my relatives in Taiwan. I had to use Chinese to communicate because I couldn't speak English. Also, I had to travel to school and back every day. I had to order food by myself, and I had to use the local transportation, so that allowed me to practice and further just elevate my Chinese language. So in the future, I plan to study business in college, but I also plan to continue to advance my language abilities.
I've attended HudsonWay Immersion School from preschool up until grade 5. I now attend Livingston High School. I'm a junior, grade 11 in Livingston, New Jersey. So after leaving HUIS, I've been studying Chinese for a couple years. And by studying Chinese and learning that language, I've been able to pick up Spanish as well. So I plan to pursue music as my career. Being at HUIS has allowed me to be in a creative environment.
I used to go to Hudson Way. I entered 1st grade, left 5th grade. I took Spanish there. I now go to Morristown Baird, the 9th graders. I think definitely learning with the teachers one-on-one, like after school with the tutoring. That really helped me like learn the language a lot better, just like one-on-one to like understand it more. Spanish definitely made me more confident with like other languages and like everything else in a way, I guess it definitely made me more interested in other languages and like make me want to learn more about like the culture and everything else.